Probably not a good idea to share. Either way, we're gonna lose, so maybe we just cut here.
So there's nothing in the modern headphone world that's gonna look quite like it, which, hey, that's also the Cybertruck effect. Like, all that means is some people are gonna love it because it looks different, and some people are gonna hate it because it looks different.
And that's great, right? Design is subjective. Some people love our design, some people hate it. The most scary thing is, like, if we were to be just middle of the pack, nobody loves us and nobody hates us and like nobody cares about us, then there's no reason to even be. I love the Cybertruck when it came out, and I think the ad for Cybertruck even featured the Nothing Phone 1.
When I got these in, I opened them up, and as I was holding them in my hands, checking them out, I liked how different and just how interesting they were until I put them on, because these do not look the way that I thought they would. They look really cool in photos and pictures when they're just still on a table not doing anything, but when they're on your head, I think they look kind of silly.
That's kind of the opposite of like what I think. I feel like it looks way better on people's heads than like when it's lying on the table or in a render. We worked with Jordan Hemingway on the campaign for Headphone 1. Those pictures look sick. People are wearing them and it looks sick. So I respectfully disagree. It's also not just about how it looks, but also how it makes you feel. But anyhow, let's keep going.
Oh, these are kind of old school cool. I do like. You've got that kind of square, cost looking kind of vibe to them. What a flipping vibe.
When you go with a design like this, some people are gonna love it, some people are not gonna like it, but in this case, it looks like Linus loves it. It's funny that he mentioned cost, because I had the Porta Pro when I was younger. Sound was really good, but they weren't the most comfortable for me.
In our office, some people just love the unique retro-looking transparent design, and some people found it too distracting and didn't like it at all. So hence proof, design is subjective.
Correct. Sky is blue, grass is green, design is subjective. At the end of the day, it's really important that people resonate with designs of the products they pick and use.
This is like something that the whole headphone industry has warped their brains about, just gestures and touch controls. Those suck compared to physical tactile controls. Like, I love the way this stuff is. These two controls back here are just awesome, straight up awesome. I love them. The moment I pick these things out of the box, I'm like, this is the way that headphones should be.
Yeah, 100%. When we build products and we have these ideas and we test them, some of them work and some of them don't work, but everything we do and all the feedback we get then goes into informing the future roadmap. Everybody went like hyper minimalist to a point where it's hard to use the product and confusing to use the product. It'll be fun to see whether other people copy us now.
Instead of utilizing the learnings, research, data, and results from 2 years of working with the audiophile community, which they have received for free or at minimal cost, and which has given them a tremendous reputation amongst the audiophile community, they decided to not follow that path.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it. From our perspective, every field has its own expertise. When we developed wireless earbuds, we got really good over time. Throughout the process, we also worked with people who are good at wireless earbuds. We're really grateful for having worked with DMS. Headphones is a brand new space for us. Just like Nothing products need to have a signature design, Nothing audio products also need to eventually land on a signature sound. The thinking is like, we're not experts here. Show respect to a new category, find work with experts whilst building up your internal capabilities and finding your own signature sound.
So when you put these on, the isolation from your environment, even without ANC, is really good. So then you turn ANC on, and it does a great job with room noise and general white noise. Turn the music up, and that's all you're really going to be hearing. I will say on the extreme end, it's about a notch and a half behind the Sony's ANC. I could still hear some plain engine noise on my flights, where I'd never hear that through the Sony's. But it's definitely not a deal breaker. If the Sony's are an A+, these are a B+.
On one hand, it's really crazy, right? Like, we're just a couple of years old as a company, but we're being compared with some of the best products, no matter if it's on the smartphone side or the headphone side. B+ is a solid score for the first-gen product in a new category.
These sound really good considering the price point. These are $299, and if these were like a 9, let's say, XM6s, I'd give these like a 7.5, maybe even an 8, which is amazing, again, considering the price point.
I'm super happy about how things have gone. This is a first generation product, and looking at the reviews, they're more positive than we expected. We had a lot of discussion around the price. Probably not a good idea to share. Either way, we're gonna lose. We had a lower price that we then increased. People are gonna be pissed off. Or if we had a higher price that we decreased, people are gonna think something's wrong with the product. So maybe we just cut here.
So depending on who you are, you might experience the bass as anywhere from within the desirable range to measurably above the desirable range. But no matter who you are likely to notice a dip in the upper treble just below 10,000 hertz, And depending on who you are, you might notice a pretty unpleasant spike just above 10,000 hertz. In a nutshell, they're not very flat.
I'm not sure most of our users would base a purchase decision on this. And I've seen a lot of traders and their reviews have this graph, but I've also noticed that everybody's graph looks a little bit different. So maybe there's like a difference in how people measure it to varying degrees of accuracy.
I can flip into advanced mode where I have a full parametric EQ. What this allows me to do is select more than just, whatever the default frequency points are and turn them up and turn them down, but I can even adjust the width of that adjustment as well as the exact frequency. That is very customizable.
This seems to be a feature that a lot of our users really like, simple EQ or advanced EQ with QR code sharing. Curious to why our competitors haven't copied us here yet. Maybe it's because the audio companies are quite slow. Actually, our community made a web version of the Nothing X app, so you can just log into that website on the browser and you can still change all the settings on your Nothing products.
DMS, give me your QR code. Good gravy. That's what you had to do to get this thing flat? Well, let's listen to some tuned tunes, shall we? Really enjoying the bass guitar more. What did you actually change at the bass? Hold on.
Kind of made it less muddy.
Yeah, just demuddified it. I'm impressed at how much was able to be done with the EQ.
This is the entire reason why we focus a lot on community, because in this case, if you don't like the stock tuning, you can tune your own, share it, or find other folks in the community who've made different sound profiles that maybe fit you better. When I saw this video, I actually scanned the QR code as well, but then I switched back to the old sound, and I also like that. So I was switching back and forth to a point where I couldn't tell the difference anymore. And then I just lost a lot of confidence in my ability to hear like what's good sound. So now I just had the default on. Now would be a good time to flash the QR code, the sound profile that DMS tuned for those of you who also want to try.
And for my head shape, I find these reasonably comfortable. I put them at like a 7.5. It's mostly the clamp force that I don't like. It's a little bit tight for me. And I find that a lot of headphones feel this way for myself.
Some of you might have seen the design vlog for Headphone 1 and the crazy machine that Seth built for ergonomics testing. We took this part very seriously, and ultimately I think we have a product that works well for the majority of use cases. There's always like edge cases. But yeah, to learn more, just check that part out.
One of the things that we noticed that Nothing did really well is the adjustment mechanism here. That's really nice. Smooth, basically infinite adjustment this way. And the way that they're managing the clamping pressure with this hinge here resulted in very consistent mounting across our various setups. And I gotta say, that is not bad.
Out of all the reviews I've watched, I feel like Linus is one of the only ones that actually noticed how much work we put into the clasp. So that's appreciated. There's a lot of work we put into it for ergonomics, but also for it to look good and to be sturdy.
If you're wondering about the weight, they are a bit heavy at 329 grams, and that's because this entire part is made out of aluminium.
I think we've made the right trade-offs to balance the comfort and the weight with how premium it feels to use. There are headphones out there that are lighter, but I'm very happy about our materials. The metal makes it feel really premium. Personally, I wouldn't be okay using a pair of plasticky headphones, especially if I'm paying like $400-500 for it.
The one miss is these headphones don't fold. So traveling with them, that means the case is a little awkwardly bigger. And also this zipper in the case is kind of annoying. I'm not just saying that because I just came from this perfect Sony XM6 magnetic buckle case, but this is actually a small, annoying zipper that I'm confident will annoy everyone who uses it.
I think it's always a balance between shipping stuff and making everything as perfect as possible. In this case, we were super confident about the headphones themselves. That's where the user would be spending most of their time. So the case, while it's a bit sad, we couldn't make it better, it's not the most important thing. So as long as we get the most important things right. However, I also noticed the zipper, so I think it's valid feedback.
Surprisingly, it manages to have the most stable connection across my house than any other earbud or headphone, despite it not being Bluetooth 6.0. I don't know how they achieved this, but I've been able to go through multiple doors, floors, and walls from the very ends of my house without even a hint at a dropout.
Engineering has always been super important to us. Bluetooth connectivity is something we got good at a couple of years ago as we were building the wireless earbuds. When I'm at the gym sometimes, I just put my phone somewhere and I just walk around. It's always been good. Hasn't disconnected. So it doesn't surprise me. We have a great engineering team.
But what about battery life? Well, these are an absolute unit. 35 hours with ANC on, which is really solid, very respectable. ANC off, 80 hours. Are you kidding me? That's about 4 times what the AirPods Max offer.
At the end of the day, I think our team did a great job on the engineering side, especially when it came to battery life. When you're out of power, you can just charge it for 5 minutes and have 2 hours of listening.
So would I use the Nothing Headphone 1? Despite the sound not being ideal in its stock tuning and there still being some energy, punch, and tightness missing in the low end that I long for even after I've applied my custom EQ, I do have to admit that I enjoy using the Nothing Headphone 1 quite a bit. I know, kind of surprising with how heavy I'm going on this video, but they cross the threshold of sufficient in ANC, transparency, and microphone. The build feels solid and it looks cool and interesting, so I like wearing them. I also like using the dials, and the battery life and range is rock solid, and I can't stress the comfort enough. It's easy to wear these and forget to take them off, unlike other headphones. So yeah, I'd use the Nothing Headphone 1 with my custom EQ.
Great. I think he touches upon how we're thinking about products. It's like a holistic experience. It's not one or two elements. At the end of the day, he gave it a thumbs up.